Should Brock Purdy be the NFL MVP favorite? Before we get into it, before we start throwing all our stats and start bugging your ears with words and shit like that, go into the comment section. You tell us. Should Brock Purdy be the favorite? Yes, no, why? Give a like, give a subscribe. We do this every week. We love interacting with you guys. Tell us where we're right. Tell us where we're wrong. But B, I'll let you start with this segment. Do you think Brock Purdy should be the favorite right now for the MVP?
I actually think that he should be. And maybe I'm curious to see how his odds stack up after this week against the Eagles. The favorite right now is Jalen Hurts. Probably because the Eagles are 10-1. I think it's 10-1. Whatever. And then I think Patrick Mahomes, I'm trying to load up my FanDuel right now. Patrick Mahomes is second best odds right now. Which is I get it. He's always, he's King Patrick. He's always gonna be up there. But we talked about it earlier on in the show. The Chiefs offense has not been the stronghold of that Chiefs team this year. It's actually been the defense. And I get it. Like, dude, like he has Kelsey right now and he doesn't have a whole lot of options around him, so whatever. But I flat out think that Brock Purdy is getting like disrespected. And I don't know if it's just because of, he missed he didn't miss that many games. No, he didn't miss any. He got
any
hurt,
games.
Right? Yeah, he was in the concussion protocol, but he ended up playing that week. Yeah. So I was going to say, like, maybe he missed a game or two, and that's why his odds are so low, to give people the benefit of the doubt. But no, that's not even like the damn case. I know you have a lot of numbers. I'll let you kind of rattle them off here in a second. But just to give you all pre-context, he's like top 5 in every metric right now. Almost top 3 in every single metric. And if you just watch him play, to your point, man, he does everything well. He does things that you don't think is a big deal, but it really is. Like the way he layers throws across the middle, that's like, people don't understand how hard that is. Like when he hit Brendyn, like BA for that touchdown against Seattle, between 4 defenders, it didn't look like much. It was like a 30-yard pass. But, cool, they scored. But that throw is like almost impossible to make like 9 times out of 10. Like that's a very hard throw. Only a few players in the league can make. Maybe only 3 or 2. Like that's a very tough throw.
And it's not even just have like the ability to make that throw. It's the balls to throw that. Like Kyle Shanahan came out after that game and said, hey, that was the wrong throw. And if you go back and watch the tape, he's right. That's the wrong throw. What's actually supposed to happen there is they're pretty much just running clear outs. So you're trying to just get the safeties and backers to drop. And then you have George Kittle that sneaks out for a check down. You hit it to him. He picks up 12 yards in the first down. It was 3rd and 12. Brock Purdy said, I see George. Fuck George today. Oh, look, BA is open. Let me just drop this in the bucket between 3 fucking players. A former all-pro safety. Oh, another all-pro safety. And, a rookie of the year candidate. Fuck them. Let me just put it right here on a dot. I mean, I cannot emphasize how hard that throw. And that's a 30-yard throw from where he's at to where it's actually caught. 1 or 2 yards outside the end zone. I mean, that's just such a ridiculous throw to make.
And he does it every week. Sometimes multiple times in one game. And that's what's like impressive about it. Because it's not just like the flashes, right? Like his flash is his like constant play style. Like that's just what he does. And he's been doing that since day one. Ever since he stepped in halfway, through the Dolphins game last year, he stepped in and something like that. Like I feel like he's been doing that since day one. And I finally got the odds pulled up here. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 best odds to win MVP right now. And he has a lot of great names ahead of him. There's Hurts, there's Mahomes, there's Prescott, Lamar Jackson, and Tua. Yeah, they're all having great seasons, right? But I'm really surprised that Brock Purdy is not at least top 3 right now, considering the season that he is having, the stuff he's putting on film. Like, talk about this pure passing talent. He's putting that on film on a weekly basis.
Yep, and just to springboard off of that, just for the numbers, I'm not going to throw every number I have at you because I really don't want to bore you guys with that stuff. Just the main important ones. Completion percentage, he's number 1. Total yards, number 8. Touchdowns, he's number 7. Average yards per completion, number 1. Quarterback rating, he's number 1. QBR, he's number 1. And for those that go, oh, well, he's dinking and dunking. He throws it off to Brandon Ayuk here and Debo there, and they take it there to 30 yards. He's number 1 in air yards per attempt. Number 1. That means no other quarterback in the NFL is putting more air under the ball when they throw it. It's him and no one else.
It's crazy.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, he leads the league in yak, obviously, because he's setting guys up. I mean, and to your point, we usually post the throws up because, again, for me, it's not even just like as a 49ers fan, that's whatever. Like, if I see a great quarterback, I see a great quarterback. Like Jalen Hurts, I've loved since Oklahoma because he does the little things that you like. But there are just throws he makes, and you're like, how the fuck did he make that? Like we talked about the Brandon Ayuk. There was one a couple weeks ago, I think it was against the Bengals. No, the Jaguars, where the pocket's collapsing in on him. He pumps it once and goes, no, I don't like that. And I don't even think he got his arm all the way through the motion. Like he kind of like ran into a defender as he threw in it, and still led George Kittle on a 40-yard, fade ball up the sideline that George Kahn took it to the house. I still to this moment have no fucking clue how he was able to get enough on that to complete that ball. He just does these like spectacular plays, and they're not like he's not going to be a CJ Stroud or a Patrick Mahomes where he's making 8, 9, 10, 11 plays a game where you're like, wow, he's making 2 or 3 because that's all he has to make. Outside of that, he just needs to do the little things right. He needs to hit Debo when he's open. He needs to hit Brandon when he's open. He needs to give George an opportunity to make a guy miss. He just needs to lead the guys well. But then there's times where things don't go right, or the play call is designed to go here, and he goes, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to take it the 20-yard throw. I'm going to take it the deep throw when it's like this play, if you watch it on film, was clearly designed to be a 5 or 6 yard throw. And he's saying, fuck that, and he's taking it deeper. I mean, if this guy wasn't a 7th round pick, if he wasn't Mr. Irrelevant, if he's top 10, there's no way we're not talking about him in the MVP category. There's no way we're not giving the same attention that we give CJ Stroud. He makes those kind of plays every week. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Go on.
Yeah. It's definitely draft status that people are just holding over his head right now. Another thing I've seen a bunch of times on social media is people discredit him because of the talent around him. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
How come no one says, the same stuff about Jalen Hurts with the Eagles? He has 2 number 1 receivers on his offense right now. He has probably a top 10 tight end when he's healthy, Dallas Goedert.
Yep.
Top 3 O-line.
Top O-line in the
defense.
league, I was going to say. To add to your point, just to counter it, Brock Purdy has a bottom 5 offensive line right now. Like, he is having the least, crazy. He's getting the most pressure, according to PFF, he's getting the most pressure out of any quarterback in the league. His O-line has the worst passing grades of any O-line in the league, and he's still putting up these numbers. But I digress. You go on, please.
So, how come they're not saying the same stuff about Jalen Hurts, right? And Jalen Hurts has the best odds right now. He's plus 150, right? So he's damn near going to get it as of the books right now. No one says this stuff about him. Patrick Mahomes coming into the league. Hill and Kelsey. And Andy Reid. No one tried to discredit him at all.
Nope.
I just don't see why.
And now they give him, they give him sympathy because he doesn't have any weapons. I thought he was Patrick Mahomes. I thought he was the greatest quarterback to ever touch a ball. He should be able to make everyone around him fantastic. So why is it that he gets sympathy for not having weapons, and Brock Purdy gets discredited for having weapons? It's like you can't have it both ways. And I'll give you a couple other names, Hall of Fame names that had weapons. Joe Montana had Jerry Rice, Dwight Clark, Roger Craig, Hall of Famers. Steve Young had Terrell Owens, Jerry Rice, Ricky Waters, who isn't a Hall of Famer, but was a damn good running back. I mean, these guys all had, Peyton Manning had Marvin Harrison. I mean, these guys all had weapons. You can't play quarterback without weapons. Let's just call it as it is. And again, to additionally add on to this, and maybe I'm targeting Eagles fans a little bit here. It's funny to me that people on one hand say, oh, look at all these weapons Brock Purdy has. But on the other hand go, oh, Brandon Ayuk isn't even better than Debo. Like, He's number 2 on his team. Oh, but Debo's more of a running back. Look at his receiving numbers. They're terrible. Oh, George Kittle's not even a top 5 tight end. He's more of a left tackle at this. So does he have weapons or doesn't he? I'm so confused at this point. There's the fucking goalposts move so much for whoever plays quarterback for the 49ers. Like, at what point do you just call a spade a spade? Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. I do want to give one since we have a moment here, and we can this will be our final point. I want to get your response to this, and we can call it a day. Nick Wright has been the biggest Brock Purdy hater. Like, it's not even like analysts at this point. You're not like doing a job. He hates Brock Purdy for whatever reason. But I will give him a point for this. He talks about, I haven't seen Brock Purdy lead a comeback. I haven't seen Brock Purdy play from behind. Okay. First of all, let's address the other side of it. They got a lead somehow. It's because Brock Purdy was playing well.
Yeah.
And the one opportunity, but here's the credit I want to give him. In the Browns game, terrible. Everything was going wrong. Brock Purdy had probably one of the worst games he's had as a pro. But he did lead the 49ers down in a game-winning drive to set up a field goal opportunity that the kicker missed. It was a 43-yard field goal. Kicker missed it. If he makes it, he wins. He gets a game-winning drive. I don't blame Brock Purdy for that. I give him a check for game-winning drive. On the flip side of that, he had the Vikings game. Chance at a game-winning drive threw 2 picks. Well, he was concussed. Okay, we won't count that one. Let's go with the Bengals. Chance to try to lead a comeback. Fourth quarter, they had the ball multiple times. Constantly turned the ball over. Fumbles or picks. There was no concussion there. So I will give Nick Wright credit on this, because not every time, not every situation is the game going to go right to you. I don't think that doesn't make him not a good quarterback. I just think I need to see him improve in that area. But I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they can use that as another point to kind of discredit Brock Purdy, but in my opinion, that doesn't really carry like a lot of weight to me. It really doesn't. Like, he put the team in a place, like you said, against the Browns. Kicker missed a field goal, and I remember watching that game because I made a bet before that drive that I placed a money line bet that the Niners were going to come back and win. And as soon as I saw that Kyle Shanahan and the offense were playing for a field goal, I was like, dude's gonna miss. Like, you just have that like feeling when we're watching the game. Like, try to get more yards. I don't feel good about this. No, go. I mean, I guess that's a point, and I guess you can use it as a factor in the entire equation in all of this. But at the end of the day, he's the reason why. He's a big reason why they're up 20, 30 points at times and don't need a comeback drive. Like, who cares? Like, I don't know. I think there's too much weight on that. Like, Nick Wright, I think he's trying to nitpick. That's my own feelings about it. And it's like this. That feels like the last leg of his like Brock Purdy hatred, right? Like, oh, he hasn't led a comeback drive. I can use that to discredit him further, right? Yeah. But then what's going to be the next thing? Like, what if Brock Purdy does that on Sunday against the Eagles? Then what?
Exactly.
Oh, Brock Purdy's not tall enough. What? Like, yeah, exactly. But I think it's just a weird fallacy argument.
Yeah, it's so funny because when you watch him, he always has to use anecdotes. Well, it's you buy a sports car and then the rain happens. Well, your sports cars. It's like, I don't give a fuck about a sports car. I get you're trying to like use an analogy to prove a point. Use games to prove a point. What situations has he been in to prove a point? Use that shit. I'm so tired of it. Like, it was so frustrating. I was like, he's got a decent point. Like, we haven't seen Brock Purdy in the situation too often. We don't know if he could do it. We know he's a good quarterback. Is he a great quarterback? Maybe that's a distinguishing factor between good and great. Sure. But like, why do you have to use an anecdote? Why do you have to use a fucking make-believe situation about sports cars in the winter? Like, just use the situation. Hey, he's been in 3 this season. He's been 3 opportunities to lead game-winning drives. First one, he was okay. The guy missed the kick. The other 2, he didn't do well. 1 for 2. Not great odds so far. Like, just use a fucking film. You're an analyst. You make a shit ton of money on this. Why are you talking about sports cars? But you guys tell us what you think.
He's just hating.
Yeah. You guys tell us what you think. Is Brock Purdy's lack of stats in game-winning drives a big deal, or is it not? Should he be a favorite for MVP? Let us know in the comment section. Give us a like and subscribe if you like what we do here. We do it every week. We release our whole podcast every week. We break the segments up twice a week. But until next time, it's been Emmett. It's been B. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. You guys can find us on, again, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter or X, whatever you call it. But until next time, have a good one, guys.
See ya.
Be safe out there.